So welcome everybody to the Lovebyte Byte Battle, which is a fantastically new, fresh take on the shader showdown you might have heard of before, where people live code for 25 minutes, but this time we do it a little bit differently. I'm Oki. I am here today with Orbi. Welcome, Orbi.
Hello.
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Excellent. You are a size coder, I think, or a TIC80 coder, or
I am traditionally a size coder, mostly on DOS and Linux, and recently I've been doing a lot of TIC80 size coding, so I'm very excited for the byte battles and to see what everyone else is coming up with.
Excellent. So just to quickly recap what this is. So we have two people that are coding in a custom TIC80 editor. They have 25 minutes. Is that correct, Orby?
Yes, 25 minutes, that's correct.
And they have 256 bytes or 512 bytes. How does that work?
Well, everyone starts out with 512 bytes, and the maximum byte allotment is slowly reduced over the course of 25 minutes down to 256 bytes at the end, and you have to stay within that total. Right.
So in the end, you have to make a 256 byte effect because it's all visual.
Yes, they will all be visual. Because we're going to have audio over the stream, so
yeah. So we will have. You will see these people live program in this code editor. A effect in very little bytes. It starts with 512. It's 256 bytes at the end. It's very little bytes for people that are watching and are not sure how many bytes that is. Very little. And after 25 minutes, there's two effects. Two people have made two effects from the ground up, and you have to vote who is going to win and goes to the next round of the byte battle, and then we have a big final at the end. So it's going to be a clash of the tiny titans, as we would say. And the first match that we have queued up for you is Flopine versus Gasman. Flopine is a well-known shader coder. She has been participating in our shader showdowns, which use shaders, as it's in the name. But I don't know what her knowledge of the TIC80 code editor is. And Gasman has never participated in the Shader Showdown, but he's a ZX Spectrum programmer. So he knows a little bit about size coding and about old hardware and about tiny teeny things. It's going to be an interesting match.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to see what Flopine gets into in this match. Particularly like on the TIC80, because I think she just picked up the TIC80 this week, so I think it's all pretty fresh.
Very new. Okay, so I say let's no longer linger, and during the 25 minutes we'll explain a little bit more how this all works and what it does. But let's count down for the first round to start in the Lovebyte Byte Battle. I'll count down from 10 to start. So it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they are off programming. So they start with a little bit of functionality, I see. Can you explain what that does?
Yeah, so here we have, this looks like some lines across the screen. The PIX command plots a pixel so this particular code is written in Lua. The PIX command plots a pixel on the screen. And it looks like, what are we doing here? All right, so Gasman has started by aliasing the math library and the sine and cosine functions to short variables to take up less space.
Right, that's very clever for size coding, because you only have those 512 bytes.
Exactly.
Oh, here we go. Flopine already has something on the screen. She's just very quickly...
Yeah, they've both taken to aliasing the math library with M, which is something I like to do too. It saves a lot of space.
Right, yeah, so yeah. I like that Flopine, as she always kind of does, immediately has something to show. It's immediately a visual on the screen. So this is only those few lines of code that you use, like even 10 bytes?
Yeah, very little space.
This is Gasman has already a rotating stick, so it's very fast results. We haven't even started for like 15 seconds, and people are already pushing out videos. This is quite different to the regular Shader Showdown, where sometimes people usually have to set up for a longer time to get marching or anything running.
Yeah, the TIC80 has a lot of basic drawing primitives, so if you look at Gasman on the right, you'll see he's using the line primitive. to draw lines across the screen. So the lines get there a lot faster than they would traditionally.
Right. So
if you had to actually write the algorithm. So
right. So it's basically for the 25 minutes. It's the same time as the regular shaded showdown, but basically it gives them it's faster results.
Yes.
So it's more iteration probably, but it's less bytes. So that's of course because there's a byte constraint, there's a size constraint. It's also interesting to see that count down. Because we already, and this is before you know it, you're nearly 2.5 minutes in already. It's that fast.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so the TIC-80 has a 240 by 136 screen, which you'll notice particularly on Flopine's screen on the left-hand side, now minimized. We're centering that screen. This is interesting what Gasman has going here.
Already, yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice sort of twister effect that's going on there.
It's incredibly fast results. Like we immediately get to watch visuals from both people.
Yeah, and here Flopine's using the circle primitive to draw a nice circle in the center of the screen. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes.
What's he gonna do? Oh, here you go. Gasman has a twister that's already a very colorful twister.
Oh, beautiful.
You can vote, as you see on the screen, at party.lovebyte.party. Which one is your favorite that goes to the next round, to the semifinals? We have 21 minutes and 46 seconds on the clock.
So they're both. Yeah, we're well under the byte. We're well under the byte limits right now, to a pretty extreme extent. I don't think either one of them have broken 200 bytes yet.
Yeah, because that is now they get 5 stuff to start with, but you'll take them away at one point, right? So it gets harder for them to keep coding the effect. That's basically what we're doing, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so, and the more time you have, the more code tends to accumulate.
Yes, exactly. So no, it's usually in the shader showdown we don't have that problem of like the size doesn't matter, but here we actually very much in that size constraint as well.
Exactly.
And TIC-80 like it does things quickly with not much code, so that's awesome. So yeah, this is a custom TIC-80 editor, I think, made by Nesbox, especially for the Lovebyte Byte Battle.
Yeah, that's my understanding. I think it's been a bit of a collaboration between a few people in the community, one of whom was Nesbox.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's awesome that this is set up for like size coding showdowns. Like it's the new things of doing things in real time. The new way after doing shader showdown, now we can do TIC-80 showdown, making live code because this is all being created right now. There is no real, people are not allowed to have written notes. You're not allowed to. You can practice, but you're not allowed to use to copy paste or whatever. Like you have to do everything from scratch.
Yep.
That's the way like we do it on the streets. Where this of course originated on the streets where people were doing handheld TIC-80 coding. So yeah, 5 minutes already gone, and it's interesting to see because very quickly people were making stuff, and now you get to a kind of defining era, I guess. What do I want to do? You have a little bit of a James Bondy style.
Yeah, this is really interesting. One of the things that I really enjoy about the TIC-80 is the default color palette on the new version, which is called Sweetie 16, and it gives you a lot of really nice choices. A lot of nice colors are clumped together, right. So you can just increment through the color palette and get some pretty reasonable color schemes pretty easily.
Yeah, so just when we're now looking at these guys coding, give us a quick rundown of how the TIC-80 works and how Lua works. Oh, here we go. This is Flopine.
Oh yeah, here we
bulbs. Go. Excellent. So yeah, you basically have a very, like, the TIC-80 is a fantasy console. You have, as you said, pretty simple commands in Lua, which is a scripting language.
Yes, and it actually supports a few different languages. You can also code in JavaScript, in Ren, in MoonScript. There's a variety of languages you can program on the TIC-80, which is also interesting. It'll be interesting to see if anyone uses JavaScript or any of the other available languages in the challenges.
Yeah, because it's the language doesn't really matter. You still have to get to that byte, like that byte limit is important, and the time is important, and just make visuals. And the visuals are, as you said, What was the resolution again? The output?
240 by 136.
Yeah, so it's very limited old school style output, very pixelated as we can see.
Yeah.
But that's also, it gives maybe some advantages because you don't have to worry that much about super fancy visuals.
Well, it actually, one of the nice things about having a lower resolution is that effects that perform a calculation on every pixel, you have fewer pixels that you need to perform calculations on. So you can do more complex effects on a smaller set of pixels when you're rendering in software.
Right.
Than you would be able to if the resolution were 1920 by 1080 or something.
Yeah, exactly. So you actually get to do more complex things. So don't be fooled by it looking pixelated. It might actually be more complex than you think.
Yeah.
As we can see now, this is already looking very it's just, as you said, it's a nice color palette. It looks very wonderful. It's very pleasing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I really enjoy this palette. The TIC-80, aside from you clearly you can program custom palettes as well, but the default palettes, there are actually two to choose from. There's a legacy palette, and it was replaced by the Sweetie 16 more recently in the development of the TIC-80. And yeah, it's just, I can't say enough good things about that palette. It's just really easy to work with.
It's nice. So we see both of them coding. They have 17 minutes on the clock. Gasman is now doing interesting things as well.
Yeah, we've got some interesting color happening here.
And it's all very fast. So this is a very, very fast movement of what we were looking at. Because indeed, it's also, because I don't want to say simple, but it's leaner, so more stuff is happening quicker, I feel, than the other shader showdowns we do. It's an interesting take on it. I'm enjoying it a lot. To see this happen in the same amount of time. A very different take on it. And I see now we can see the amount of bytes they're using.
Yeah.
This is how many they already have used. If they're getting to that dreaded 256 byte limit.
You can also tell by the color of the bar at the bottom of the window. Green means you're under 256 bytes.
Yeah.
Yellow means you're between 256 bytes and the byte limit, and red means you're over the byte limit.
Yeah, so they are both in the orange now. 259 bytes, 266 bytes for Gasman.
Yeah,
but
so
Gasman
we're right.
is putting some copper in there. That actually looks very nice.
Yeah, it does.
Excellent.
Yeah, so the TIC-80 technically only supports 16 on-screen colors, but you can modify the palette during the scan lines to get these kind of like true color resolutions like Gasman's doing right now. So that's actually a nice trick.
Awesome. And I just saw a brief snippet. It's going very fast from code to visuals, but Flopine here is doing some kind of interesting.
Yeah, looks like we have an XOR pattern in the background.
An XOR pattern on the background. Very much iteration. Very.
Yeah,
quick.
really rapid.
Yeah, very rapid indeed. There's 15 minutes on the clock here, so we've been busy for 10 minutes, and we've seen these effects already evolve furiously, I want to say. It's like very fast-paced.
Absolutely.
Oh, here we go, Flopine indeed.
Oh, that's a nice pattern.
Yeah, nice XORing, but then we go back to Gasman, who is still on the lines. Look at this, like madness is happening right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, also because we don't have that many bytes. This is basically like we used to see, like, I don't want to compare it too much to Shader Showdown, but you kind of have to. We usually see big, like, blocks of code being scrolled through. But not here. So everything just kind of fits on the screen because it's only that many bytes, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. Which is actually wonderful because you can see everything that's happening all the time.
And definitely some screwing with the bits to make it smaller and smaller to make it fit again. Yeah. Oh, now the background is animated for Flopine.
Yeah. So just a couple quick notes on Lua, because there might be some confusing characters to people who are looking at the code. The tilde in Lua is actually the exclusive OR character. It's not the caret like it is in C. So that X tilde Y is where we're getting the exclusive OR on line 4
right.
on Flopine's code.
Right.
And we actually have two divisions. A single slash is floating point division and two slashes is integer division, which also might look unusual to people who aren't familiar with the platform.
Right. So very optimized character as well, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you have to. Well, I will say that Flopine is really opening all the registers in her code. Since she was only messing with it for a week, it's like some pretty intense. Which is a veteran, at least a veteran shader coder for time-wise as well. She knows how to code under pressure. So
Yeah,
I think that shows like fast iteration, fast changes.
Yeah, and I just love this. I just love the use of color here. Well, the color scheme Flopine did have up with the blues. The Sweetie 16 has like 5 different shades of blue in the palette that go together beautifully. And I love when those pop up.
And I see, and Gasman is going for a more classic. He's old school. He's a ZX programmer, old school vibe. Technically very interesting, very cool effect.
Yeah, those gradients are gorgeous though. Yeah. That's really nice on Gasman's side.
And indeed, it's like stretching the limits of the platform immediately, trying to do high-res visuals, but it's not really possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Very demo scene as well. Everything is possible, and you're at the halfway point, 12.5 minutes, so halfway in. Only halfway in. It feels like it's been longer and shorter at the same time.
That's a really nice use of the circle primitive for the fake specular. That's a really slick use of code.
Yeah, that is very polished looking. I mean, Flopine is a veteran. And I like to see, but it's cool to see Gasman, who hasn't done, as far as I know, hasn't done any of these live coder battles, also participating this way. It's a fun new take. I'm enjoying this a lot. And I hope that we see way more different kind of battles in the demo scene, because this shows that it doesn't matter what kind of tool you use, it's interesting nonetheless. And even with this, because of the size limit, it's an extra pressure on the programmers to perform in time and in size. How mean. But they're both well in the limit now, 255, we're well in the limit, they're both in the limit now.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I think the deciding factor here is going to be how each of them choose to use the rest of their time. Because there's a fair amount of time left, and they have some effects that are approaching completion. So I think there's time to really polish to push the limits and see how far you can go.
Oh, definitely, and indeed, and that's why they have that extra space to kind of buffer in, but as long at the end they have to fit in 256, right? I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal.
So you also want to be careful. Like every byte is valuable.
Absolutely.
So that's good. Yeah, indeed, 10 minutes, 11 minutes nearly on the clock. So we have time enough for some, indeed, a different kind of tinkering to your effect. Like, what can I still do? What can I still optimize and still mess with in this time? Because it's also a risk, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm enjoying. I think it's a great first round to show what this fantasy console can do and what people can do with it in short time. Ooh, Gasman was doing funky movements and bouncing.
I'm not sure that was on purpose.
Well, the best things happen when they're not on purpose, and I love that they're like dabbling in that limit when they go to orange and it's bytes over.
Yeah.
It really is extra pressure for them to also not just make an effect in 25 minutes, but also make it fit 256 bytes. Hellish, what a fantastic idea, I love it. So we're now over 10 minutes, so we're in the single digit minutes. So indeed, now the choice is, what do I do? You have a lot of time for that.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. So I hear that you're also participating in this, Orby, at one point?
I am, yes. Are
you already a little bit intimidated by what you see?
It's going to be intense.
I have the feeling it will be. I think for a first round, we have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that is awesome. Yeah, no, this is absolutely, and because it's so small in size, you just keep looking at the cursors and they flip all over the place, changing small values, because yes, it's bytes. Flopine is a bit over now, but Gasman is still nicely in his...
Looks like Flopine switched over to an AND pattern instead of an exclusive OR pattern.
Yeah, and keep voting at party.lovebyte.party, because indeed you can change your vote, I think. I'm not sure, I guess. But you see the evolution of the effects as well over the 25 minutes. And now she even changed to complete color in the background.
Yeah, there's those blues again.
Yeah. So do you vote for the end result? Do you vote for the journey to the end result? It's still a pretty big journey. We've both seen quite some evolution, in fact. Although Gasman has been quite solid in his twister with the copper bars.
Yeah, he seems to be kind of tweaking around a little bit, trying to find that extra oomph somewhere.
Can you see what he's doing, where he's messing with? Can you kind of predict what he's going to do?
Once his screen comes back up, let's see. Yeah, it's interesting.
There's little tweaks.
Little tweaks, yeah. Yeah, it looks like he's mostly just tweaking constants right now. I'm not quite sure what he's trying to achieve, but he's tweaking around a bunch of constants to...
Flopine just took away your background. Flopine is using all her time. She's just messing with it. She's like, I have 7 minutes left. I'm just gonna go play around with it until I feel it's good.
Yep.
Which I always find a little bit scary because I'm like, when you have something good, like, oh my god, throw it away, I get it back.
Oh yeah.
Then again,
that's terrifying. It's not like we have version control here.
Exactly, but it's also because is it maybe true that because the code is smaller, it's more condensed? Is like there's smaller changes.
Well, it's very easy to lose the thread. It's very easy to lose the thread.
Even for having this little code on your screen, it's still easy access. Look at the code. Like, I'm not even going to pretend I understand what it does.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to modify a line and forget what it looked like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
The iteration is absolutely bafflingly fast.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen as much switching between the screens as well because there's so much happening. But it's a very fun, absolutely very fun concept, and indeed 6 minutes, so we're getting to that last 5 minutes, which is always
this is
any
really
kind of live
time.
coding. It's the scary time. The 5 minutes is I'm getting close to like, should I stop messing with it? Should I still mess with it?
Yeah,
is it worth the risk?
I think we're approaching time to optimize. So let's see, Flopine's at 259, Gasman is at 262. They're both over right now.
Yeah.
So there's either going to need to be some clever optimizing or some sacrifices to the effects.
Yeah, there's some bytes that have to be shaved off, and it's quite some for Gasman actually.
Yeah.
It's quite some. It's like a whole, like he's nearly 10 bytes over. Yeah. So what is your sacrifice indeed? What will you give up? If I could change the background color, I will say it looks nicer now, better.
Yeah, I mean, colors are usually the easiest thing to sacrifice if you have to sacrifice something.
Make it look because I'm not sure with Flopine. I like the blues, but I think I like the earlier colors, the pinks and the yellows better. But yeah, it's. I'm not sure if you should vote for the end result or for the whole journey to the end result. You should vote for the version that fits in 256 place, though, because I think that's only fair.
Yeah, I think that's a requirement.
Yeah, I think in the end that's the requirement that they should both hit. Like, ooh, there we go. Gasman is doing all experimental. Again. I have no idea. Is she still messing with the background? I think so. She's trying to make it fit in the bytes. So
well, she was just down to 255, so I think she's still experimenting. There's not much time left.
Yeah, it's like it's the 5 minutes. There were 4 minutes and 15 seconds. So we have this. Oh, here we go.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Still messing with that background. Still messing with the XORs. What can I squeeze out? 258 bytes. 58 for Flopine, very close to 63 for Gasman, so he's still well over.
Yeah, this is really coming down to the wire. So Flopine is under again.
Yeah, she was 1 byte over now, but she is in safe is shown. She can make it happen. 3.5 minutes. We're getting to pop song length territory, which is indeed the final. Oh, here she goes.
Oh,
We've seen very interesting background animations happening for Flopine's effect. And Gasman is also like, I like that his effect is now more shaded, but he's still over. 4 bytes, 5 bytes, 4 bytes. Only 4 bytes, but where the hell are you going to get them from? Yeah, that's also looking wonderful.
Yeah.
A big shout out to Flopine and Gasman for doing this in TIC 80, for giving the shot. And shout out to Havok for running the OBS and for Ro who did all the scripting to make it work online. And of course the music being played. Yeah, we have 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. This is oh, Flopine is still experimenting. Till the last second.
Yeah.
Which is also a shader showdown, or a showdown. It's called shader showdown. But any like the time coded events we've done, some people, I've rarely seen people stop well before time. People will keep tinkering, and that's also where it gets scary. It might get dangerous.
Yeah, well, especially when you're dealing with code that's as compact as this code is.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, a misplaced parenthesis might compile and execute fine, but it might give you an entirely different result.
It might break, and when we were talking, Flopine's changed background 4 times. They were all interesting. So now it's kind of lavish. It was just purple before. And Gasman is going more black and white, which is also looking really good. Yeah, he's so blue there, but
yeah, that's
vibing. I'm very much vibing to both of these. Yeah, it's a difficult round to call for me, I'd say. I don't really know.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's for all you people to vote. I think, Flopine has shown a lot of iteration and a lot of diversity, but Gasman has had solid improvement on his effect. And made something really, so solid and pleasant, and we're getting to the last minute, so this is
all right.
Terrifying for the end. And Gasman is over still.
Oh man, 60 seconds to go.
Flopine has a bite to spare. She's doing good. I think she's also probably getting to the end now of what she wants to do. The last minute is now counting down. And Gasman still has to shave off 4 bytes, so that's kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And there's also the maximum amount of space they have to use gets smaller, so they will be forced into that limit at the end indeed.
Exactly.
So it's well in the red for Gasman. He has to use his last 30 seconds wisely. And what will happen? Will he be disqualified if he hits over 256? How does that work?
Yes, he will be disqualified if he doesn't hit 256. So.
Oh my god, and Flopine just crashed? This is all very exciting for the last 50 seconds. Come on, Gasman, at least make your effect run. There we go, it's back at least, but make it now fit. Else he's out immediately? That would be very sad. Well, the last seconds, I don't think he's going to make it, is he?
Oh no!
Oh no, Gasman didn't make it.
Oh, that's so unfortunate because that was such a nice use of true color on the ticket.
Oh my god, this is the first round of the Shader Showdown, and already Gasman is disqualified, so Flopine is instantly the winner? Do votes not matter? What are we going to do? Maybe we have to discuss this.
I believe that Gasman is disqualified.
Oh my god, this is a doggy...
We're going over the limit, so...
Oh, what a doggy-dog world this battle is already! And it shows how terrifying it is to immediately have to...
So it's pretty tense. It's pretty tense.
You have to fit in this time in the size limit and the time limit, and Gasman, he made a great effect. But unfortunately, it's 4 bytes too big. Here we see Gasman's effect. And it's fantastic, but oh my. Yes, a valiant effort. But it means that Flopine is going through to the semifinals.
Yes, a valiant effort indeed on the part of Gasman, but this one goes to Flopine.
And unfortunate for all your voting, because it didn't matter. Also a great metaphor for life.
Also a great metaphor for life.
Yeah. Nothing matters. but no, big shout out to Gasman and Flopine. Excellent effort. Very sad to see Gasman not being able to get it in in the size, in time. My God, what a pressure!
Oh, really, really great work from both of them.
An excellent show. And look at these
Yeah.
facts. This is in 25 minutes, live coded in a custom TIC80 editor in Lua. You will get to know more about this when we do more battles. We'll explain. Well, I say we, or we will explain more about it, and I will learn more, which I like to do. I like to learn. So yeah, fantastic. Let's see. We'll see you guys at the second battle. This was already a very tense start.
Indeed, it is.
Excellent stuff. And one more shout out to Gasman. For not hitting the limit. Poor guy. I really feel for him.
Yeah.
Next time, Gasman. Next time you'll be back.
Next time.
You'll fit in 32 bytes and you'll own everybody.